Oh no, poetry is great. Poetry can be good poetry. It can be intentionally bad poetry. I do enjoy intentionally bad poetry sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was writing as her character, was intentionally bad emo poetry, just for fun.
And then there's haiku, which is always incredible.
Which I've done for years. Yeah.
Yes. And then there's the kind of poetry that's a palindrome.
Oh, those things are tricky.
I've seen one of those recently on Mastodon, and it was glorious. It was about wearing your mask. But in any case...
Neat.
I do have a poetry piece that might say here that might actually be worth showing. And I will show it if you like.
Cool. And now I'm also wondering what kind of poetry Longcap would write.
Oh, here we are. Let's see.
I'm going to have to open that in a browser window because Discord does not like that much image.
On my phone, I just have to scroll.
I can see it.
I've considered palindrome poetry, but I don't want a multi-class out of Bard.
Did my headphones actually pick up me losing it?
No, they did not.
Oh, okay, fine. I will turn on desktop Discord because that is the last straw.
And also,
no
Ellie
one
has
will notice
inspiration.
They broke you.
Well, I win because I broke 4 people today with one line
Oh, good.
in a different recording.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm asking because because D&D Beyond isn't loading, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Oh.
Oh,
It
there it
loaded
goes.
for me. Oh, good.
It's okay. I'm 10% certain that there won't be any combat today.
10%. Mm.
Beth, it wasn't a question of is the site down. It was a question of is my internet down.
Oh,
But Ellie, that's never happened before.
Certainly not this afternoon so badly that I had to completely power cycle the modem.
Ew.
Did you remember to feed the hamster?
Well, I fed the cat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a wonderful
well, that
poem,
could
by the
still
way.
that could still be part
Oh.
of the line. Feed the hamster.
Yeah.
We're going to go with that. Hello and welcome to Pack Tactics Season 4, Episode 12. This is a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign. My name is Crash. Tonight I am joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Io, and Jen. What happened last time?
Well,
we
I'm going to immediately disconnect so I can try to use desktop Discord.
I believe that we did not have a combat that you thought we were going to have, is what happened last time.
Yes, but what made last episode different from the other episodes?
Mm.
As opposed to having combat when you hadn't expected us to have combat.
That can
I mean,
happen.
fair.
hmm
Yeah.
Fair and valid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we got into like a big robot that turned into a ball and went to a city.
Yeah.
Not entirely far from the truth. Technically, it was a summoned Earth
Point
elemental.
of view, you know?
Yeah, technically it was a
So-
summoned Earth elemental,
Uh-huh.
but it did turn into a bowl that you were all able to get into and ride towards the city, not unlike Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender deciding to
Bowl?
travel in style.
Mhm.
I don't remember the episode where Toph turned into a bowl.
No, but Toph makes the ground rise up underneath her feet to fly across the ground. Never mind. It's all fine. In any case, it turns out that there was a priest from the city of HighTemple who had been tasked with the last round of cleanup. They had already come through and taken the ship out of the crash site. Your ship, the ship that you crashed in, well, you didn't crash in, you ejected from it safely. It was all fine. Well, not everyone ejected safely, but you did. Some people turned into physics.
I'm
So
going to have to get so many levels to bring back everybody, especially the physics people.
it's a shame that this session is the last session of season 4, and you will never actually get to the. I'm joking.
You're going to get the great big giant, dish-sized, watery, sad eyes on a little dragonborn, you know.
I get that every time I bring up the fact that physics exist. So the ship wreckage crashed, left a bunch of large craters. We're currently on that map now in Owlbear Rodeo, which I mention only because there is a chance that I will need to load up a map today. I don't know, because player choices are a thing. But if you are someone where it takes a while for your device of choice to load up the map, that might be a thing you want to do. You won't see anything there now that's worth looking at, but it'll help later on. So they took care of that wreckage, but they left a lone priest with a rod of elemental summoning to basically do wrap-up cleanup of the area to see if there were any artifacts that were left behind. And at the point you encountered him, he had found a bunch of teeth, a few coins, and some broken circuit boards. He didn't know what those were, but he found them, so he put them in a bag of holding. And there was one other thing. A monocle or something like that. It's fine. It's fine. And you have.
It wasn't. And then he has to transport it all, and he won't give us anything back.
Well,
he claims it's already transported or something.
Well, here's the thing. The people who employ him and outrank him told him to hand the stuff over to them. You do not employ him or outrank him.
And we are being kind enough not to say that we outrank you because we are going to sit on you and pound you until you admit it. We're being friendly here.
Did I mention he has an earth elemental?
Well, if we take away his earth elemental
if
control,
we're going to play the game of we will sit on you, he's going to win.
Only if we don't take away his rod of elemental control first.
Yes, but you opted to not roll for initiative.
I know.
Opted for a free ride into the city.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are going to say that you have reached the city at this point. The elemental does dissipate before you get there because the rod of elemental control doesn't summon the elemental permanently. And this particular priest had actually been there for some time. I realized that I closed my notes earlier, so I should probably open those again. And he was on his last charge. So you don't ride into the city triumphantly on top of an earth elemental bull. Instead, you walk into the city, somewhat awkwardly having everyone stare at you.
We should get used to that.
May need to pause just a moment. I'm not sure. Oh, you can hear. Good. Never mind. Sorry. You can hear?
Yeah, I just logged back in on my phone.
Okay. We're walking in. People are staring.
Yes. And this episode is brought to you by the web app for Discord. May it die in fire.
If only they'd make it.
This episode is brought to you by a late Baroque chocolate company, the Rococo Cococo.
Someone tell me what we're walking into.
Remember we got the trip from the on the Earth Elemental?
Yes, and I would like to know where we are and what we are now doing.
We're walking into the city that the Earth Elemental took us to because...
Okay, we are walking into a city and not into the church itself.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
It's 6 of one, half a dozen of another, because the city is called HighTemple. Certain things that you are able to notice upon your approach to the city is that the walls of a city usually try to follow some degree of contour around whatever hill the city is built on. These walls are perfectly straight. Completely straight.
Sign of people who have earth elementals to do their building.
He disapproves.
Also, the city itself appears to angle upwards towards the center of the city in a way that I would not require an investigation check or insight check for all of you to realize it was specifically crafted that way. This is not a natural land formation. If it was, it's been heavily altered.
Fascinating.
This is definitely architecture with elementals.
And there does appear to be an actual temple in HighTemple. Stop me if this sounds weird.
It's really high up too, isn't it?
It's right apparently in the middle of the city. It's that really big building you can see from all the way out here. The one with a giant beam of light shining up from the center of it straight up into the sky. That's
where
neat.
the quest marker is.
Inspiration for Sori.
Thank you.
That or the city is armed with its own lightsaber.
Hard to make it move around, though.
What do you do when the high ground has a lightsaber?
Early in the morning.
You already have inspiration. I'm not giving you more until you spend it, young lady.
Well, want to go see the big temple?
That's where we can at least get back like teeth and stuff because someday we'll be big enough that we can bring them back.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm still a little concerned that you're talking about bringing people back from the dead.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Do your clerics not do this? Wait, sorry, I thought who was
Yeah.
speaking? Was that was that the priest that we went with, or was that Maury?
That
Oh, right. Good point.
Well, that was I'm trying to remember how I pronounce his name. It's Ageus.
Agus.
Agus. It was Agus who said that, but
Mhm.
Maury's making a face at you because as someone who was raised among the Xenolites who are the priests of death who make sure the dead stay dead.
Oh,
Oops.
Yeah. It's not something we do here. The living have their time, and then that's it. Everyone gets a lifetime, not 2 lifetimes.
Why?
Times anyway. It's where they took up from.
I'm fairly sure that it is still only one lifetime, merely subdivided.
That is not how we see it.
It's not like they came back as a baby. That would be reincarnation. That would
maybe.
be
I
2
believe
lifetimes.
Some druids can do that.
I am not a druid.
No, we left the druid behind.
Mm-hmm.
Both the druids.
It's probably for the best, all things considered. Half the city would be in flames right now.
Probably, yeah. Uh-huh.
They were
Yeah.
not the reincarnating people kind of druid. They were more the shape-shifting and murder kind of druid, and the fire and dubious awareness of his surroundings of druid.
Yeah, kinda.
I
Agus
had not realized that was a kind of druid.
was not the darkest skinned of individuals, but he appears to have gone several shades paler.
Uh-oh, we scared him.
A whiter shade of pale, if you will.
Blink, blink, blink.
Usually that only happens when I start making arcana rolls.
Your arcana rolls can certainly be interesting.
We're going to smash cut too. I'm going to assume conversation like this has continued the entire way up.
oh,
Yes.
probably, yeah.
Every person in the street that you pass just sort of stops to stare at you silently as you go past. Kids who've been playing just pause. The balls that they were tossing back and forth just sort of like drop to the ground and roll down the hill. It's a very tall hill. They're going to have a walk ahead of them.
Wave in a friendly fashion now and then while continuing the conversation, which probably gets into a certain amount of, well, it's a kobold tradition that untimely deaths are different from timely ones.
Yes, you can resurrect people from untimely deaths. You cannot resurrect people from timely ones.
There's a small child asking their mother what a cobalt is.
It's a type of rock.
Why are there rocks walking through town?
Ask Agus.
And why do they look like weird dogs? I thought they looked like giant lizards.
No,
But most of your audience does not speak up. Most of them just stare at you awkwardly as you go up the entire hill to the temple gates.
friendly wave.
And the doors of the temple open, and someone in very fancy regalia with red robes and a funny-looking hat, because they're a high priest, so of course they're going to have a funny-looking hat. I think it's written somewhere that as a high-ranking priest, you have to have a silly hat. Just sort of like looks at all of you, looks at Maury. Maury kind of half waves. Looks at Agus. Agus seems to shrink by several inches. We'll take it from here. Yes, I have the... yes, thank you. We'll take that too.
We need the teeth.
The high-ranking priest takes a look at Sori. Sori, you've seen that expression before. It is not the expression of someone who thinks that you had a right to say anything.
Mary narrows her eyes and looks up and looks down, possibly pointedly at about knee level, and looks up again.
In that bag are the remains of our people, and we request that they be released to us so that we may treat them in the manner which is respectful to our people. Surely, as a priest, you can understand this.
When our business is concluded, you may speak to the Xenolites. Their number will be in attendance. Follow me. And the priest turns and walks down a hallway, not looking back to see if you follow.
We can follow.
Of
Mhm.
course.
Plotting to figure out what at my height is most vulnerable on an annoying tall person.
By the way, I did roll an insight check for this priest. When you look down at knee level, his assumption was you were lowering your gaze, like someone who understands they were speaking out of turn.
Oh.
And not someone who is trying to determine exactly what is most likely to be bitten at that level.
With bonuses, I rolled a 9.
Okay, he can think that if it'll make him happy.
Mhm.
He will be very wrong at some point if he does not be careful, but he can think that if it makes him happy.
So, do those robes give you any kind of fire resistance? No reason. Just small talk. Just curious to see if there's any special properties or anything.
Yes, how
acid
flammable are
resistance?
those?
Maybe? No. Okay.
I wonder how flammable those robes are. Yeah.
Turns out he's a dragonborn in disguise. No, he is not. You have not seen any dragonborn on this planet except for that mirror over there. And that was a very petite dragonborn.
Yes, with the tail that is tied around her waist.
Okay. So next thing I want everyone to do is wait for me to look something up.
Mhm.
I want everyone to give me a charisma save.
Oh boy.
DC 13.
Okay.
Not
Charisma
all I
save.
want. Come on. I clicked that, didn't I?
Oh, I did good.
Utashi got a 21.
Yep.
Utashi's save can drink.
Mine can barely. Mine can't barely. A mere 20.
Yours can vote,
Yes.
21 for me as well.
as I can see. And I'm over here looking at D&D Beyond, but I forgot D&D Beyond's dice roller hates every character EO has ever made. So I got to look over here at Discord.
Lieutenant Cogbucket doesn't like me much more either, and I don't appear to have inspiration, so...
Oh, no.
Lieutenant Cogbucket knows that I came up with Cogbucket's name, so it's trying to appease me. So two things happen very suddenly. One of them is Longkep freezes in place,
Okay.
as if a hold person spell has been cast.
Why am I always the one getting hold person passed on me?
Because you're the tallest.
The other thing that has happened is Deza isn't there.
I was bred.
No Deza?
No Deza. Deza
Right.
made her save, but instead of seeing a Deza over there where you expected to see a Deza, possibly doing something involving casting the spell of crossbow at whoever decided to try to cast hold person on her, instead you briefly see a ring hovering just at about kobold hand height, then fall to the ground with a metallic bing.
Concerning.
I see you've brought the machine.
It's the most expensive machine in your ring because that's where you are now.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But as for everyone else, you are surrounded by several people wearing silly hats and fancy robes in a variety of colors. And
I am aware I cannot speak right now, but if anyone is reading my thoughts, I would like to make it clear that we are diplomatic envoys with a diplomatic intent, and this is very hostile.
if this is a diplomatic mission, then where is your ambassador? Oh, in the ring over there, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to make that line be canon. I'm not going to, but I really want to.
So I do have a quick question.
Yes,
What happened to my familiar?
that's a very good question.
I also have this question.
Well, tiniest cap or tiny cap, I forget.
Smallest cap.
Smallest cap.
Smallest cap.
There are too many synonyms. It's like it's like the Pixies from Discworld. There's wee author and slightly wee author and slightly larger than wee author, but whatever.
It's better than cinnamons. I mean,
That's what I was going for. The Pixies.
I love every minute of it. So smallest cap is doing whatever smallest cap would be doing if you suddenly stopped moving. As for Deza's familiar, Deza, when you choose to go into the ring on purpose, does your familiar come with you?
I don't know.
I'm going to say have your familiar make a charisma saving throw.
Now I have to actually look up the spell.
And I'm going to ask for that for smallest cap as well. I'm guessing there's not going to be much of a modifier for smallest cap because it's a lizard skeleton.
And wee little bones.
Yes.
No, there is a modifier.
Is it a good modifier or a bad modifier?
I plead the fifth.
There is a musical, an off-Broadway musical called I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, where there's one section of it where how many minutes until halftime? 32 seconds. 32 real life seconds or 32 football seconds? 32 football seconds. And every time I ask a question like, is it a positive number or a negative number? I'm channeling that scene.
Okay.
So smallest cap is held in place by whatever spell is holding long cap in place. And with a 14, I'm going to say, if I remember correctly, it's a pseudo-dragon familiar. Am I remembering that right, Ellie?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So good news, your familiar is not frozen in place. Your familiar is there looking at a ring that has fallen to the ground. You are not there to provide direction to the familiar.
Sure.
In which case, in a brief moment, it panics and flies up onto the ceiling and hangs on like a cat that has realized it has climbed to the top of the curtains, but now is really high up and doesn't want to be at the top of the curtains.
Which, I mean, fair.
There's a few guards that are trying to half-heartedly poke at it with spears, but they've not seen a pseudo-dragon before, so they're not sure if it's going to, turn into something else or scratch their faces off or something.
I assume that its limited telepathy is having it yell, "Where is Deza?" at anyone within range.
It's shock and anger. It's rating a lot of shock and anger.
Reasonable. We're surrounded by guards.
Guards and more high priests.
I would like to flavor smallest cap getting held, despite I believe not being a valid target of hold person, but that's
Who said
probably not
that long cap was
exactly
targeted
what-
by hold person? Sorry, smallest cap.
Yeah. But that's
Long cap
probably not
was
exactly
hold
what
person.
happened, so,
Smallest cap is a different spell.
yeah. I would like to say that a bunch of bones fall off of Long Cap's head.
The priest with the silly hat that's dressed in black robes motions to a couple of the guards and says, "Make sure you pick all of those up. They may be important." And then they look. That same priest looks over at Maury and says, "Welcome home, daughter. Friends of yours."
That's where we're going to end it.
Yes, we've only been recording for half an hour. We're ending the session now. Next month, we'll record the next session. That would be so mean.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after taking two of you out of commission. So we're standing down, right, everyone?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Suppose that if this is your father, says Sori, who does not look like she is thinking of standing down very much, maybe, possibly. There's so much side-eye. She is side-eyeing Maury. There is so much side-eye that only a petite kobold dragonborn can... a culturally kobold dragonborn can give.
Your eyes, you are a predator, so your eyes are on the front of your face. But for some reason, the character art has been adjusted, so the eyes are on the side of your head, so you're able to give more side-eye. All right, so congratulations, you are taken prisoner. Some of you easier than others.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Has my internet done the thing again?
We hear you
I
now.
hear you.
Okay.
It's okay if your internet had gone out and there was something important you wanted to say. We'll just say you were saying it in the ring.
Well, I was just saying I'm going to listen for my name, but otherwise I'm going to take the opportunity to collate some notes.
Okay, so you're collating notes inside the ring.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you pull out your papers, you hear a voice. Really, you're doing that now?
Well, there's not much else I can do.
Well,
Someone forced me in here. I assume they're not going to let me back out.
oh, I will. Matter of fact, my plans kind of depend on it.
Oh, you forced me in here. Okay, well, then I'm paying attention.
Good, I'm glad we cleared that up. It's been a while since we had a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think back on the moon.
You don't call, you don't write.
I'm on another planet. I
You
don't have
brought
cell
my
service.
ring with you.
No, that's true. On the other hand, we did get shot down, and I've been a little distracted.
Yes. Yes, I noticed. I've been a little distracted myself. You see, this is a fabulous world you've brought me to. There's
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, yes, there is so much here that I'd like to catalog, to put it that way.
Me too.
Only there is a small issue that does need to be addressed.
Okay. What's that?
There's something going on this planet that is preventing a lot of things that I would otherwise be able to do. I don't like that. I suppose it has something to do with the fact that I didn't know this planet existed. No one knew this planet existed.
Ooh, it should be in a museum.
You know what? I'm willing to build that museum.
Well, let's find out what's going on, shall we?
Oh, I've found a few things out already. That's why I brought you in here. I need you to do a favor for me.
Well, sure. You do me so many favors already. Least I
Oh.
can do is return one.
I'm glad to hear you say that. So have you seen, by any chance, any sources of tremendous power anywhere near where your ring is currently, by any chance?
Well, there was that light coming out of the top of the temple.
Oh, yeah, that might be it. That's probably coming from somewhere inside the temple, I hope, and not just, the very top of the tower. I don't think I've given you the ability to fly.
You know, I bet if I stay in here, they'll take me to the treasure room.
They might. They might indeed. Or they might keep your ring under lock and guard because they saw you disappear except for the ring.
True.
But in any case, you do have several talents available to you. I'm sure that you will think of something. But when you do think of something, when you do get out of wherever they decide to put the ring, I'd like you to throw this ring into whatever is making that beam of light appear.
I can do that.
Thanks. I think that would be very helpful for everyone involved.
Okay.
Well, everyone I care about.
All right.
Smash cut to everyone else is in a prison cell.
Oh, no.
Your own prison
Individually or
cell.
together?
Individual prison cells.
Oh no.
They better not have tried to take my tail.
Give me a persuasion check. Actually, no. Let's be honest. Give me an intimidation check.
Darn, my persuasion's better. Oh, for pity's sake, I'm using my inspiration. Just to not have that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 4 is not going to intimidate them into letting you keep your tail.
Pity bloody sake!
A tailless Sori is currently in a prison cell.
Possibly
No.
having asked Maury if she really likes her father very much.
At the point they divest you of your items, Maury is no longer in sight. Maury has already left with her father.
Has hold person worn off yet?
In the prison cell it has.
Do
Sorry,
I see anyone within range?
You do not. There is a door with bars on it that you can see. You can't see anything through the bars from where you are now. So that means they probably can't see you from where they are.
Sorry is
Do I
memorizing.
know where smallest Cap has gone?
You know, smallest cap was scooped into the same bag that had the teeth.
Well, I'm going to assume that smallest Cap is probably active again and going to do whatever a small undead lizard with an int of 1 can think to do.
Imagine, if you will, the bag of holding that is keeping Smallest Kep and the various treasures and the ring that Deza is in. It crawls out of the bag of holding, and Mission Impossible music starts playing as Smallest Kep starts dragging the bag of holding towards the door of whatever room it's kept in. And then falls off the edge of the countertop that the bag was placed on and shatters on the ground again.
Actually, wait. Dismissing a familiar doesn't have a range.
Hang on. I'm sorry, Io. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there is a really, really important point going on here.
Is it about the ring's location?
Oh no. No.
Put ring.
No.
Oh no. Don't put the ring in the bag of holding.
Well,
Point happened. You may need to be rewinding, Crash. Depending.
oh, that's right, because the ring is an interdimensional space, and they
Yep.
tossed it in a bag of holding.
When did they do it?
Oh.
Or did someone actually think before they tossed a ring in that used to have someone right there?
We've been playing pretty close to an hour. What do you say we take a short break?
Okay.
Yes, I think we have to take a break while the GM decides what the GM wants to do.
Oh, the GM has a plan in mind, but the GM has to decide exactly how the GM is going to word said plan,
Hmm.
because this is going to involve a different NPC.
Oh boy. Yes, we're taking a break now, obviously.
Okay, so we're backing up a little bit, and here's what happens. As they're picking everything up, kobolds, cultural and otherwise, are being escorted out of the way. Maury's being escorted out of the way. It is quite possible that there is a conversation happening right now about whether or not a plush tail is an accoutrement or a part of anatomy. And then there is a sound. I don't know exactly how to describe the sound other than the sound of a bunch of things on this plane of reality going to a different plane of reality. And there's too fewer guards in the room than there were before. One of whom was holding a bag of holding. The other one was holding a dustpan and brush. And then you're all shown to your prison cells. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's all fine. We're all fine.
No
here.
chance to try and grab my tail and stuff it under my robes while they're distracted by a lack of two of their people?
Give me a deception check.
Hang on, let me get my dice. I.e., let me open up this.
I
Come
could
on.
say no, but I'd rather say no, this is fun.
Deception? 20.
I rolled a nat 1. Somehow your robes have a tail-shaped lump. And you are able to convince them.
Do I just curl it, sort of sneak it back, curl it in, and these are my robes. They are a little bit lumpy sometimes.
That's just how kobolds are shaped sometimes. It's fine. You don't need to take it. A nat 1 versus a nat 20 for a deception
It
check
wasn't
to
a nat
hide
20, it
your
was a dirty
tail.
20.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
a dirty 20.
You're
Dirty
going to be
20,
fighting the
dirty
big bad and regret getting the natural 20 now.
It wasn't natural, it's dirty.
Well, it's still a 20 versus
It's
a
a
nat 1.
17. Yes, it was a 17 plus 3 versus the nat 1.
Okay. So, Deza, you do have the conversation with your patron in the ring. And then I'm assuming that at some point you leave the ring.
Well, I'm going to have to in 4 hours.
Okay. You leave the ring to find that you are not in HighTemple, you are in the astral plane.
Great.
There is apparently a small lizard skeleton skull licking you with a ghost tongue.
It was licking the ring.
Hey, smallest.
Ah,
I love everything about this. I love everything about this. You do hear someone humming a tune.
I look for the source of the humming.
The spine bone connected to the other spine bone, which is connected to the other spine bone, which is connected to the... There's a lot of these little things. Oh, it's a good thing that they're held together. Are these paper clips? Is this held together with paper clips? Oh, that's neat. Oh, hello. May I borrow that real quick? And...
oh no, it's her.
A person
Whoops.
with fluorescent green hair just sort of reaches out and takes Smallest Kep's head and
That makes
sticks it
sense.
onto the rest of
Hello.
Smallest Kep's body, which has been reassembled.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Well, it was a puzzle. I like puzzles. They're fun.
They are, aren't they?
You're a puzzle.
Hmm. Where am I?
Oh, you're in the astral plane. You really shouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah. Also, you shouldn't be wherever you came from.
Also true.
No, it's where you came from. It, like, I can't see it. It should be right over there.
You mean the planet or the ring?
This person points in a direction. There's nothing but silvery vastness of emptiness in that direction.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to put the ring back on.
So how did you do that?
We don't know yet.
Oh, there's more of you?
Couple. We were looking for the ancestral kobold homeworld, and then we got shot down. And apparently the planet doesn't exist where we got shot down, and so except I don't think any of my friends know that. I just found out a couple hours ago. So now we have to find out why it doesn't exist.
Wow. Well,
I'm an archaeologist, but I've never had to discover the ontology of a planet before. I mean, like burial masks, I can do that.
I gotta confess, archaeology's a little weird for me because I'm older than most things that archaeologists think are interesting.
But that means you've seen most things. Well, you could have seen most things archaeologists think are interesting, which means I would have so many questions for you if we weren't on the astral plane.
Oh, I can fix that for you.
Me having questions or being on the astral plane.
Oh, I don't want to fix the questions part. Questions are fun.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, I could fix that too, but usually when I do that, people's heads explode.
I'd rather not have that happen.
Yeah, it's a mess. But I could send you back where you came from. I do see the path, even though it sort of just like goes to nothing. That's still kind of weird. I'm going to fix that.
Okay.
And you're going to help me.
People keep saying that.
Weird.
But, if my boss wants to fix it and you want to fix it, then I assume it's probably a good idea for it to be fixed. So,
Okay, well,
yeah,
I don't
let's
know
get
who
on
your
that.
boss is, but it's not so much that you're going to have to put any effort out. It's just like I'm going to send something with you.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's already impermeating all your cells. Bye.
What?
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, you're in the same hallway you were in when you went to the ring.
I know. How high are the ceilings?
The ceilings are about 15 feet tall.
Excellent.
Is there still a familiar up there?
No, there's a bunch of claw marks. There is a familiar, but not the one that you were asking about.
I cast spider climb.
I can think of few things more terrifying to the people of a world without kobolds than seeing a kobold climbing across walls and ceilings towards or away from them. The only thing more terrifying would be if someone in a cupboard somewhere went, "Panthers?" That's a callback.
My rationale for this is that nobody ever looks up.
I'm going to allow you to roll a stealth check at advantage. With the 22, you pretty much have run of the place.
Neat. Hey, Smallest, let's go find your partner.
Would anyone here argue for the idea that a familiar should be able to know what direction their master is in?
Makes sense to me. They're familiars. They're magically linked to their person.
Deza, give me a survival check at advantage.
Another 22. I'm rolling real well tonight.
Don't jinx it.
I've gotten a 21 and two 22s. I'm going to fail sometime. And when I do, it's going to be spectacular.
Oh boy.
I need to make a roll now.
Uh-oh.
That's not a 22. So, Deza, give me a perception check.
There we go.
Okay, so with a 7...
I can make one too, right?
Oh, yes. Smallest Kep would be able to make a perception check. I think it's very funny if the lizard skeleton notices something that the archaeologist doesn't.
That's not just funny. That's hilarious.
The archaeologist is fascinated by the mortise and tenons in the rafters.
So,
That's a 19 perception.
that's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20%. Oh my frickin' gosh. The animated lizard skeleton sees all. If you look in its empty sockets, you just see spiral galaxies twirling in the mist.
And a brown bear for some reason.
So as you climb across the ceiling, marveling at the architecture and how it seems reminiscent of various cultures that you've researched in your years as an archaeologist, but no, it couldn't be related to that. Convergent design, perhaps? It would have to be, because otherwise there would be cross-pollination from this planet's era and this time zone and this. But where's my notebook? I need to write this down. Meanwhile, Smallest Kep is like tapping you frantically on the shoulder and gesturing with its other arm.
And I eventually notice what Smallest Kep is.
Smallest
Pointing
Kep
me at.
sticks its ghost tongue in Desa's lizard ear socket.
Oh my gosh. There's so much anatomy there that doesn't exist, but it still weirds me out. So what's your oh, nice GIF. Yeah, I mean that's a cat, but yes, that is the reaction. It sort of just cascades upward. Wow. So yeah, you see Mori, a very nervous-looking Mori. Well, Deza doesn't notice it's a nervous-looking Mori. Deza sees that Mori is there, and there's two unconscious guards. Smallest Kep is able to ascertain that it's a very nervous-looking Mori, and two unconscious guards who both appear to have imbibed something that had been handed to them recently by Mori because Mori's putting the bottle away.
She brought them sleepy time tea.
Can I contact Jenna telepathically?
You can try.
I try.
Not happy. Not happy. Nope, not happy. Not happy.
I'll come to find you if you don't find me first.
In a room. Can't fly. Can't fly. Not happy. Stabbed
All right,
3
I'm gonna
guards.
get you.
That was fun.
I'm going to get you.
Stabbed one of them 3 times. Not happy.
Well, walking upside down on the ceiling, I am going to call quietly to Mori.
So remember the first roll I made? That was Mori's perception check. I'm going to roll another stealth check for Mori because having a lizard person call to you from the ceiling is not something that most people expect to have happen.
That's true.
That's a 9. There is an audible cut-off scream. Everyone in this conversation hears it.
Sorry. No one ever looks up.
Gee, you think?
You'd think guards would be better about that.
Well, we usually don't expect lizard people to be on the ceiling. I didn't know that's a thing you could do.
It's not a thing most of us can do.
Also, how'd you disappear like that?
That's magic.
And take guards with you.
That wasn't my fault. They put an extra dimensional space inside of another extra dimensional space, and bad things happened.
Yeah, that they teach us that real early. I guess they didn't know your ring was interdimensional. Could have been worse. Could have been like a perfume dispenser or something. But no one's that dumb. So anyway, Dad's being Dad.
See why you left.
Yeah, he's got his good points, but I can't really just let him. There's talk about vivisecting.
Yeah, he seems like an avocado. You got to get rid of all that flesh before you get to the good pit.
Yeah, but I'm worried he's going to do that to your friends.
Well, let's go find him then.
It's right through this door.
That was easy.
Well, easy for you. You were gone for 4 hours and climbed in on the ceiling.
True.
As Mori is saying this, Mori is taking keys off of one of the sleeping guards, patting him on his helmet, and then unlocking the door with the keys. It's the 4th key on the key ring that unlocks the door. But so it took a little while. All right, we just got to find out which cells they're in.
Okay.
Am I within 100 feet of me?
Yes, you are within 100 feet of you, and also Smallest Kep is within 100 feet of you as well.
Yes.
And I love that I got to say that.
Becomes much smarter. Tap, 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 point.
Mori goes down the line looking through each cell room window and unlocking the ones that contain the party members.
Okay. Hi, Maury. I didn't kill anyone.
Well, you didn't. Deza probably did.
Oh?
Well, not on purpose.
It was,
Oh,
if they're dead,
put
it
the
was
ring.
assisted suicide.
They put the ring in the bag of holding, didn't they?
That explains why I'm getting memories of licking something fluorescent green.
That's a muddled memory, but we're going to go with that.
Yes, Skip is an int of one.
Actually, oh, wait. Here we go. Because the ring would be somewhat reflective.
Oh, wow.
So the ring could have been reflecting fluorescent green.
Oh, I assume Smallest Skip was trying to lick other things too.
That is also a possibility.
Mhm.
It's also possible that this particular person, upon having their hair be licked by a skull, which is not a sentence anyone should be able to say, because there's certain anatomy required to be able to do that verb that doesn't exist on a skull.
Details.
Might have said, well, aren't you sweet? I'm going to put you over here next to this other thing. Anyway, you are all reunited, and Maury pulls out a backpack and starts handing you your various pieces of equipment.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, this is all very heavy. I'm so glad they didn't take your tail. That wouldn't have fit in the bag. So... why
They
didn't
tried.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Are you sure you didn't kill anyone?
There was a diversion, so I stuffed it under my robes.
I gotta
Okay.
find my pseudo-dragon.
Your pseudo-dragon was in one of the rooms with... they don't make manacles for pseudo-dragons on this world because they don't know what pseudo-dragons are, but they did use manacles, and they just attached manacles to manacles. So it was kind of like, imagine if you will, a 5-year-old has attempted to tie their shoes
No.
with chains,
Mm-hmm.
and it's your job to undo it. I am not going to RP that experience. Because as a teacher who teaches kindergarten, I might invoke some PTSD.
Yeah, same. I used to work in daycare. Well.
Yeah, at this point, I tell them, sorry, I can't tie shoes. But Mr.
Valid.
Smith, you're wearing shoes. No, I'm wearing boots. They're totally different. Anyway, you are all now free. You're
Woohoo.
still in the dungeon, but there's 2 sleeping guards outside.
So I noticed something. I found out something neat. Celestial beings can't see this planet.
Why?
I don't know. They don't know.
Hmm.
But they want me to stop that.
Probably because of the war against the old gods.
The what now?
The war against the old gods. We've had this conversation, didn't
Did we? I don't know.
I don't remember anymore. This is all a fever dream anyway. So,
Important question.
yes.
If we remedy the situation, will we be suddenly beset, we in a general sense, the planet, be suddenly beset by old gods?
Well, the old gods were killed. So, no
god
question
ghosts.
mark?
Are we sure they're dead? What did they
Well-
look like?
Okay, well, I wasn't exactly around to see them. But long history lesson abbreviated to we need to get out of this prison cell
Right.
version.
Oh.
This planet had a bunch of gods. The evil ones killed the good ones and took over, made the world a horrible place to live for a long time. Our current gods rose up. With our help, we defeated and killed the old gods. So now we've got non-evil gods. There's 5 of them, and anything that gets anywhere close to being a god, we go out and kill.
He is going to have some interesting Elijahs, and we should get out of here before we discuss more theology.
Oh, but there's something I have to do first.
Oh,
What are you gonna do?
I have to throw my ring into whatever is causing the beam of light to come out of the top of the temple.
I hope it's not a volcano.
Are you sure you don't want to instead, do an assassination, burn the city to the ground, do anything that is less of a risk factor?
I'm pretty sure my boss is going to kill me if I don't.
That sounds pretty important then.
I left my bakery / memento shop, trinket shop, to stop mephits from attacking travelers. And now I feel like I'm going to help you commit high treason.
What is the glowy thing anyway?
It's the beacon, or Oh, they call it a bunch of different names. Basically, it's
Somewhere, Gox's ears perk up.
Gox is like, guys, we gotta go somewhere. There's a thing I can eat. It's gonna totally give me my spell slots.
Might. It might.
Honestly, of all the things that Gox could eat that would give Gox spell slots, this might be
This
it.
would be it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the short version of what Mori tells you is there are priests from all 5 of the accepted faiths that basically are doing rituals in this central chamber of the temple. And when they finish their version of the ritual, they are replaced by someone else from that same order. So it's going on constantly. And this is one of the things that's done to help prevent deities from ascending and disrupting the order.
We're going to have to be 3 kobolds in a trench coat or a cassock.
Where do we gotta go to do this thing?
All eyes just slowly turn over to Mori. I am very uncomfortable with the fact that I'm the only one of you who's been here before.
Clink. Attempt the cute dragon, culturally kobold dragonborn eyes.
Okay. Can you all walk on ceilings, or is that just a thing that Deza can do to freak me out?
It's just Deza.
Second one. Mm-hmm.
I believe it's a spell
That makes it hard.
that I do not know.
Otherwise, you'd be alligatoring around the ceilings.
I can go in by myself if I need to.
I've thought of a thing that's more terrifying than someone in a closet saying panthers, and that is a ceiling alligator.
Well, that's why
All
you
right,
have
I'll
alchemists.
make a note to learn the spell if I can.
I mean, that's why you have alchemists. They hang alligators there. It's to be properly terrifying, and also if you hang them there, they can't flail around and catch onto the ceiling.
You know, this is a very fun conversation, or it would be, if not for everything that's happening right now. Look, are you capable of being quiet?
Theoretically.
That's going to have to be good enough. Follow me.
Okay.
Stealth check?
Stealth checks.
Oh, stealth checks. Okay.
How
That's why
long
I
does
said
spider
theoretical.
climb work?
1 hour.
Where is the stealth?
Okay, I'm going to say you still have that enabled.
16.
Trying to
moment.
find it. Oh, it's over here.
Oh, go Maury. Nat 20.
Maybe Maury should
I
carry
got
anyone
the
who's not
15.
nice.
Oh, right, I'm proficient. I forgot I was proficient.
Deza's going to use her inspiration.
Maury does not hum Kronk's theme song when sneaking.
21.
Cogbucket is apologizing.
Longcap is silent, like the dead familiar lizard thing that's
Right.
riding on Longcap, and also silent.
Did my patron pulling me into the ring use up my ability to use the ring?
I'm not going to say that would be the case this time.
I just rolled extremely poorly on my stealth check, and it might be better for the party if I weren't there.
You do find that you are humming I'm So Quiet to yourself. Right? So there's a small ring on the ground.
Actually, wait, I'm not. I have a better idea. I have a funnier idea.
That is how we got the I'm So Quiet song.
Yep.
I have shared that song with my students, by the way, in my D&D club. Well,
I need-
It's an,
my D&D club is taking place in the same campaign setting.
That's awesome.
So they're based in Flotsam. And
Therefore-
I can't tell you more than that because a very bad thing is going to happen. It has already happened in their sessions.
Oh.
It hasn't happened for you yet.
oh boy.
Okay.
So what is this thing that's even funnier? Ellie, I saw your light thing light
Sorry,
up.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you now.
I needed to check something, and D&D Beyond search is typically good, except when you're searching for a specific keyword in the core rules, in which case it's a disaster.
Here is everywhere that word exists. None of these are the spot
Mhm.
you're looking for.
Yep.
Although half of these
Anyway.
will reference that spot without taking you to it.
As soon as we attract attention, because I realize I can't stop myself from humming, and
It's
I have
such a
already made
catchy
plenty of
tune.
noise. It is such a catchy tune. As soon as we attract attention, I'm going to lean into it. So let me know when we attract attention.
You attract attention.
I cast Enthrall.
What does that do?
You weave a distracting string of words, causing creatures of your choice that you can see within range and that can hear you to make a wisdom saving throw. Any creature that can't be charmed succeeds on the saving throw automatically. On a failed save, the target has disadvantage on on perception checks made to perceive any creature other than you until the spell ends or until the target can no longer hear you.
That's an 11.
They got to be a 13.
They don't. They are staring at a lizard on the ceiling who's humming a tune.
Oh no, I'm not humming a tune anymore. I am giving a full lecture on the archaeology surrounding Coomridge.
And what does this
That
do to
would be
their
very
wisdom?
distracting.
What does this do to their wisdom?
They can't see you. They don't know
Ah.
you're there.
Okay. I guess we're walking past.
The only problem with this is Deza who needs to do the thing at the destination. Deza can't say go on without me.
Right, yeah.
I am handing my ring to Maury because the best chance of this succeeding is for Maury to go in.
Maury says a few words that the guard who has spotted you will never have heard. Everyone else hears them. Smallest Kep covers their mouth with one tiny claw.
My.
Such language. If your father was here. Oh, wait. Oh, too soon?
No, the idea here is that not only is Maury the only human among us, but Maury has a background with these priests and conceivably has a reason to be in that room. Anybody else has a better reason to be in that room, the ring can go to them.
I don't need to make a roll to determine how uncomfortable Maury is with all of this.
Answer, very. Which is pretty reasonable, really.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it goes up to 13.
As it should.
How did you roll a nat 25? Skill.
Oh, it's from Adventure Time.
It's non-Euclidean dice.
There was a line that I was trying to remember where it came from, and it's from Adventure Time. It's from basically a character who's omnipotent, who is called the Wishmaster. And he's explaining to Finn and Jake that they have to do something because if they don't, my boss, let me repeat that, my boss is going to be pissed off.
Oh no.
Bleep that one out, though.
Oh, I didn't realize that was unacceptable. Sorry.
What, the word pissed?
Yes.
Yeah, you should definitely not say pissed. Or crap.
Okay.
Or dang.
Or all the things you're going to be cutting out of this.
Now, what would be really funny is I don't actually consider any of those to be swear words.
Right. Yeah.
But if I go in post-production and bleep them out anyway.
Mhm.
Wait, no, sir. Pissed is not a swear word where you are?
It's not really considered one, no. It's considered like an alternate word.
You're
Oh wow, that's
it's-
definitely
Seriously?
It's a bit
here.
it's considered somewhat strong, but it's not considered like,
Oh,
oh my
wow, no.
gosh, cover everyone's ears. And that
Uh,
grandmother who just stepped out of church is going to faint.
I mean, there's a lot of them that aren't that high, but if you're trying to keep your kids from hearing it, then yeah, no, that's in the you do not say this to school children.
Hmm. I can swear in 3 languages. I'm not going to do it here, though.
Really wise.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hey, I have a useful skill.
Come to think of it,
spell.
I can also swear in 3 languages,
Yeah.
which is fantastic because I can really only speak one.
Hmm. I can speak 2 of them, and I pick up little words on the 3rd one. So.
Je ne parle pas français.
I kind of know what that means, but I can't respond
Yeah,
in the
mid.
language.
I can
It's
swear in 49er.
Except he can't speak French. He said in French that he can't speak French.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
I know just enough French to make people who don't speak French think I know how to speak French.
Hmm.
But anyone who does know how to speak French, like everyone who was employed at the French immersion school I worked in for a year,
Oh.
and the students
Oh.
knew that I did not speak French.
It's kind
It's
of
fine.
funny.
It's fine. You're halfway there. You're going up some stairs.
Whoa.
Okay.
Bing left.
Cesar, give me an intelligence check.
Check or save?
Check.
Okie dokie.
Because intelligence is knowledge base, and you are giving a lecture on Coomridge.
Oh, can I make it history then?
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Then that's well,
Segue in.
I would much rather have had the 10.
So the good news is the person you're talking to has never heard of Coomridge.
Beth, I told you.
Mm.
I'm getting punished for those early rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that mean that you were making jokes or hearing jokes?
Being punished. Mm-hmm.
Well, it is possible that in going over the history of Coomridge and mentioning several of the notable figures throughout its history, including the long line of rulers of Coomridge, who don't traditionally call themselves kings or queens, but, the lords of Coomridge, that you may have gotten several of their names wrong and in the process actually put puns in just as an impulse. You had to say something.
Elric, Ethelred, 12-inch,
Ely.
36-inch, 18-inch. He was only half a ruler.
Fact that Crash said Ely when there is in fact an Ellie.
Ely!
Yeah. Lord Eaters's daughter is named Ellie.
Yeah.
She's
There
a
is one.
sorceress.
Is she named after our Ellie?
Yes, before Ellie joined the group.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Can confirm.
Yeah. Ellie the sorceress from Coomridge is actually good friends with Meepo.
Mm-hmm. They did all sorts of fun things together.
They got in adventures. Imagine
did.
me saying adventures with it italicized and bold.
Mm-hmm.
With a disappointed father in the background.
Right.
Aw.
Yes, it was glorious. Let's not ask about what colors the barbarian's weapon was turned into. That was also a thing that happened.
Mm-hmm. That was a thing that happened, but that
Yes,
wasn't her fault.
There may
She
have
was,
been.
requested
it
to
was.
do that.
It wasn't her fault that she did the thing after Mr. Vex suggested it.
Yes.
They may have had to hide on the roof for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that happened.
I may have had to make an animated GIF to commemorate
There it
the
is.
occasion.
Yep.
Oh, memories. Good times were had by some.
Anyway.
But
Anyway.
in the process, back to the plot. There was one.
Hmm.
That's not a
Once.
context quote.
One plot.
Deza, in your stutterings and utterances as you try to remember more details about Coomridge
All my notebooks are in the ring.
that you handed to someone who's no longer here, you can't even say, wait a minute, I'll be right back. Well, they're able to come to their senses just enough to realize that while they don't realize that they're only seeing you and not anyone else, but they are realizing that they do see you and you shouldn't be there.
True, but I'm also on the ceiling, which is also another place that I shouldn't be.
This is also true. Give me an intimidation check.
There we go.
So I don't know about you, but here on Earth, there are not tiny lizard people who can speak and climb on ceilings. And if I was in my school, my place of work, and I looked up and saw a lizard person giving me a lecture on Coomridge on the planet Circulus while hanging from the ceiling,
You'd take notes, honestly.
I might choose to vacate the premises
That's fair.
because I rolled very low and you rolled over 20.
I rolled a natural 20.
There is an odor.
Oh no.
The Hedgehog Militia strikes again. That's all we're going to say about that.
Yes, there's reasons. Go back and listen to previous
Yeah.
things.
You got to listen to previous campaigns for that one.
Campaigns, yeah, exactly.
And then we just do a wipe. I choose that transition specifically to Deza catching up to the rest of the party going up the stairs. Weren't you giving a lecture?
Yeah, he decided it was boring.
Go hurry before he finds somebody else to talk about how boring it was.
That seems like an excellent idea.
Okay. So you get to the top of the stairs, you go down a few more hallways. It does occur to you that this structure appears to be somewhat maze-like in design. It doesn't have nice, neat, straight corridors going everywhere, except for this one. This is a very long, straight corridor that ends in a pair of obsidian black doors.
Are they openable? Or is there something on the other end we need to worry about first?
Well, Mori has stopped upon getting within eyesight of the black doors. So it's possible that there is something on the other side that might give a person pause.
Or
Yeah?
what's on the other side?
Remember I said there's a ritual that's going on like 24/7?
Oh, rituals.
Yeah.
How tall are the doors?
How
No,
what
no,
are
no,
the
no,
doors?
no, no.
Tall.
They go up to about a foot shorter than the ceilings here. The ceilings are about 20 feet up.
Okay, I'm going to take the ring back from Maury.
Maury has mixed feelings about handing it back because, one, it's no longer her problem, but two, she knows you want to do something with it.
It might
So
just
here's
break
my-
the ring.
Have you
Here's
the
my
wing?
Here's my
Now wait.
suggestion.
Now I got it.
Maury opens the doors. I slip through the top while Maury says, "Oh, looking for my father, carry on." And then I can do what I need to do from the ceiling.
You know, that plan would work, except this is probably one of the last rooms my father would walk into.
Do they know that you know that?
Everyone knows it.
Okay.
Might have looked like somebody who needed to be there,
There is no one here who looks like they need to be in there.
except the people who are doing the rituals.
Yes.
Is it always the same people, or is it someone who might be in just a robe that looks the right way?
It's not always the same people. You got to rotate a bunch of people through. It burns you out real quick. I mean, it's considered a high honor to be selected for it, but
So the robe your father was wearing, would it look like anything like that?
we are not stealing my father's robes.
We don't have to. Sori is going to cast Disguise Self to look roughly like a stray random human mammal, reasonably clean, wearing a pared down version of those robes and a foot taller than she actually is.
Oh, I was going to say I could try to have smallest cat jump in with the ring, but this is probably better.
Well, at least for somebody to open the door.
I'm looking over the various skills that might apply to this, and I'm going to say give me a deception check.
I'm
Okay.
going to hand smallest cat to Sori, though.
All right. That is not a deception check.
Nope, wrong one.
That is.
That is.
Roll again, because Maury's going to give you some advice that's going to count as assistance, which means the roll's at advantage.
All
so
right.
roll again regularly, and we'll take the higher of the two, the 6 or the 10. We're going to go with 10. Maury sighs and says, "That's as close as you're going to get."
This is definitely a case of it. You're awfully small to be a priest, aren't you?
Yeah, I was going to say, Maury doesn't say you're too short to be a stormtrooper, but it's heavily implied.
Yeah. Okay. Did I hit that too many times? Now it thinks I've cast it a ton of times. I can't tell.
Also, if you're coming down this hallway, the robes need to be black.
Well, at least the robes will be black.
And there's way too many points on the fancy hat you're wearing.
That's my ear. Fix, fix, fix.
I like the implication that
You stopped there.
Yeah.
You like the implication?
Sori's ear is
Well, she has little ear flaps. At least that's what the Hero Foundry or whatever it is. That's what they use for dragonborn, dragonish things. They have little ear flap things. Anyway, she will attempt to just sort of crack the door open and slide in and look like she is about to be ready to spell whoever's robes look remotely like hers. And she has a smallest Kep who possibly has a ring, or is Dazah going to just come in on the ceiling?
Dazah is going to come in on the ceiling. And
Okay.
Dazah is leaving Jenna behind with the understanding that if she gets in trouble, she's going to call for help.
Meanwhile, no doubt Long Kep is going to watch through smallest Kep's eyes or something.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay, so this room has a radius of about 75 feet. It is circular and divided into 5 wedges. Each wedge is colored with a different set of tiles. You're entering through black doors to the black wedge portion. There is also a green portion, a red portion, a white portion, and a blue portion. It's almost as if you're looking at the back of a Magic the Gathering card.
Wait,
I'm waiting.
isn't that a setting? Isn't there aren't there D&D rules for that setting?
Ravnica, which is one of the worlds in Magic the Gathering, yes. And I do have that rule book.
Concern.
But you are not on Ravnica.
Thank goodness.
I'm not doing that to you. I could, but I didn't do that this time. This world is homebrew. The center of the room, there is a pedestal that's about 10 feet across, and there's small circular platforms spaced evenly around them. And there are 5 priests who are gesturing and chanting and waving and definitely not turning to look at who's walking in. They're kind of busy right now.
Looks solemn.
The walls of the room curve because they're actually the sides of a very large dome. But the dome doesn't connect at the top. There's a hole at the top that this giant beam of light is shining through. It's coming off of the 10-foot wide pedestal that's at the bottom.
Much as Sori would kind of like to get a better look at things, she is just going to stand beside the door and look solemn and nondescript and whatnot, because she has a feeling that when the ring goes in the beam of light, she might want to be on the other side of the door, actually. Therefore, Deza gets to go climbing around on the roof as much as she wants.
Deza, so here's the thing. It's been said that charisma is not about how good you look. It's more the force of your personality, the force of your will. The sloping walls of this dome are covered with murals that tell the history of this world. Unless you choose to fail this save, I would like you to make a charisma save to see if you can get anywhere near this beam of light instead of pulling out your notebook and copying down as much of the murals as possible. A 24. You do manage, in fact, to say, not now, not now. I have other important things to do, which is for the best.
It is with great dismay that I don't deliberately fail that save.
With a heavy heart.
Sori will probably be looking at it too, just out of curiosity. You never know. At least you'll have someone who remembers it when it's rubble.
Apparently, the fights with the old gods were rather severe.
Do any of the old gods look at all familiar?
Well, there's a familiar, no. Familiar tropes, yes. Give me an insight check.
But I'm glad it's insight. That's a
15. Wonderful. Okay, so there's some deities that are represented that you don't recognize them by name or by looks, but oh yeah, that's clearly a god of death. That's also the kind of god of death that is using dead bodies to make more people dead. Got that, understood. That's a god of war, clearly. That's a lot of blood. Could be a blood god. Blood for the blood god or something? No, that sounds silly. No one would say that. Let's strike that. That's like grimdark nonsense. No one would even consider that. Why are they on a throne made of skulls, though? That might be a grave, whatever. But there's also some gods that appear to be, in league with the god of death and the god of war that are doing things like, having nature rise up and kill hundreds of people and stuff like that. And then there's these angelic-looking beings made of light that are aiding, supposedly, the good guys fighting all of these horrible things.
murals are made by the victors.
Yes, they are. But looking at these, it's very clear that when everyone on this planet mentions the old gods, they're not talking about, like, Cthulhu.
Uh-huh.
They're talking about the gods that came before the current gods, out with the old gods, in with the new.
Things that is useful to know, however.
Yeah, certainly. Deza, I'm assuming that you're spider climbing up the dome. Sorry?
Yes.
Okay. You've reached the giant hole in the ceiling.
Okay. I'm going to take out a piece of paper or parchment or vellum or whatever I have and stick it into the beam of light to see what happens.
There is a smell of burning paper.
Okay. That's what I thought was going to happen, and that's why I am not going to stick my hand into it.
You roll that little parchment a little tighter, you put the ring on the end.
So that isn't a bad suggestion.
Maury thinks it's a bad suggestion.
Yeah. But Maury thinks all of this is bad.
That's besides the point.
It's probably
Instead,
right.
I am going to reach out with the ring as close as I can to the beam of light without actually touching it and drop it.
Give me a dexterity check.
Okay.
That would have been much funnier if you'd rolled a 1.
Yes, it would.
It'd be like, Frodo tosses the ring into Mordor.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
It actually rolls down that lava precipice and out the front door. down a long hallway, over
on
towards
top
the
of
battle,
spaghetti. Like
past
on
the
top
battle.
of spaghetti, all covered with goo.
Instead, that was a natural 20.
Instead, it was a natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
It lands dead center on the pedestal. Give me a dexterity save. Just
Oh
Deza.
no.
That's less good.
Yeah, that is less good. Everyone give me a constitution save.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Okay. Let's do
Including the people on the other side of the door.
Even less,
Yes,
less
the
good.
other side of where the doors
What did I
were.
get?
Absolutely right.
I got
Doors were. Oh, great.
15. I got a 15.
A 15 is going to make the save. Maury's
Uh,
5, well, 6 technically does not make the save.
Oh,
10.
10 will not. 15 is the target number.
Oh, well.
Anyone make it?
I'm sorry?
I said, did anyone make it?
I think I
Utashi
did.
made it.
Yeah, Atashi made it. I'm not seeing anyone else make it at this point.
Oh, no.
Right.
So, Utashi, you are blown backwards. You are
Oh,
prone, but awake.
Huh.
There's a moment of silence where you're not quite sure if you still have your hearing.
I shake my head to see.
And then there is the sound of one of the doors falling off the remaining hinge that was holding it up. And nope, you heard that.
Okay, I can hear again. Wow.
Yeah, you heard yourself say that too.
That's how you know you can hear again.
Everyone who didn't make their save, well, that's a low roll. Everyone who didn't make their save takes 7 points of damage. Utashi, you took half of that, rounded down, so that's going to be 3 points of damage.
Okay.
I assume it wasn't fire damage.
No, it was force damage.
That's what I
Oh,
thought.
shoot.
And I'm not immune to the force.
The force was with you, but that was a
Too
bad
much.
thing.
Too much.
Well, smallest cat that goes poof.
Somewhere on the astral plane, a being older than time is like, after all the time I spent on that, are you one of
Well-
those people who takes the jigsaw puzzle when it's all finished and immediately puts it right back in the box? Ugh. That's not canon, by the way. What is canon is, having made some other rolls, I can safely say that we're not going to start the next session with combat against the priests in this room.
Against the priests in this room.
Well, those were the other people in the room. They are all unconscious. They were at ground zero.
Ah,
Yeah. But
Twice didn't walk up to that.
yes, all 5 doors are blown off their hinges. The hole at the top of the roof is a little bit wider than it was before, with crumbling parts falling off. Deza, you are going to also take,
Oh no, falling damage.
yeah,
Oh, no.
Well, I'm still
26
sticky,
falling
but-
damage.
Oh,
So,
well, then
bludgeoning
I'm
damage.
unconscious.
Well, yes, you were already unconscious. You
Oh,
failed to
I'm
save.
fine.
No, I mean I'm unconscious.
Yeah,
I'm
you
making
are
death claims.
you are doubly unconscious.
Oh.
Yes, you have been reduced to 0 hit points. If only you had an ally that was a priest,
Uh-huh.
or
And
2,
awake.
or 3. There are 3 priests in this party.
And only one of them is awake.
Right.
Yes.
I'm awake. I'm gonna go find Deza and give her some hit points.
Also, the murals are trashed.
I don't
That's
care
the
about
true
the
crime.
murals. Those don't bother me. I'm gonna go find Deza and give her some hit points if I can.
Okay. What spell are you going to use?
There's a thing called Channel Divinity.
Ooh.
That's the wrong one. Nope. There's 2 of them with the same freaking name, but the first one is Preserve Life, so I can do 15
Oh yeah,
hit points.
Channel Divinity is a thing you can do with.
Mhm.
It's like a special spell slot.
Right.
So you've got 2 different things that you could activate by channeling divinity.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one is Preserve Life, so that's the one I'm going to do. I'm not really sure what button I hit to do that.
Actually, let's rewind a second because
Sure.
instead of falling off the ceiling, I am going to enter my genie's vessel and no, wait.
Oh.
Yeah, that ring is gone.
Sorry. I just needed to make that joke.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I hit to give someone 15 hit points, but
We'll worry about that later. We'll just say that Deza has 15 hit points, is awake,
okay.
and conscious enough to see that the murals are trashed.
Yeah.
I pass out again.
Oh no.
Like, I don't want to be awake in a world without murals. And,
I'll start
oh
trying to
wait,
drag
all of
Deza
my
out
notes
the
are
room.
back in the ring that I just destroyed.
Oh no.
He's thinking about that too.
Mm.
She's gonna try and take as many notes on whatever vellum she has on her about the murals while they're still standing before they collapse
Oh,
and before we come and get yelled at.
When I say trashed, I mean, you know how bits of the ceiling have fallen down? All the little tiles that were used to make the murals, huge chunks of them have fallen off and fallen to the ground like a jar of pennies poured upside down onto the floor. You can see spots of color here, spots of color there. That looks like a skull for a death god over there, but you can't tell the story anymore.
Oh no.
It's okay. I'm sure somebody has a record of it somewhere. It's fine. It's fine.
Propaganda anyway.
And you know what? We've been almost recording for 2 hours now. What do you say we stop it here?
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for listening. Good choices were made this evening.
No. They were not.
Tonight I was joined by a bunch of...
Ted thinks that licking people was a good choice.
Okay,
Well-
point.
Yes. There were several nat 20s. Those are always good choices.
Mhm.
Including the one that led to this.
True.
Tonight I was joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Eo, and Jen. Who wants to plug a thing?
Eo's mom writes books, elizabeth-mccoy.com. And once you go there, if you see one you like, you can try and talk your library into buying the ebook, and then you can read it yourself for free, and I still get paid.
Woohoo. Well, I guess I'm next.
Speaking
When
of
I'm
books,
not, yeah, really. Speaking of books, my website is bookofjen.net. I haven't put much on it in the last month and a half because I've been super busy with a lot of TTRPG games and such, and also sick at times because that's just how I roll. I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, which has an episode come out every Saturday-ish usually, and you can find that at shatteredsoulstone.com or on social media. For now.
And then we
Speaking of
also
social
totally
media?
found-
speaking of social media, Patreon's kind of like that, right?
Kind of, sort of. We do have a Patreon. You can help keep the lights on. Patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Join other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Shenshin, Walter, and patron emeritus Cindy.
Until next time, this is Crash saying, hey, wait, I'm not Crash.
Until next time, this is Crash saying, Ellie's starting the next session with inspiration. And also, a person who looks somewhat like a human, with fluorescent green hair this time. Smiles.
What?
Moves a finger in a circle, creating a portal to the phlogiston, and sends a spark through.
Oh no.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Big bada boom.
It'll be warm.
I want it known that I am not the one who set the phlogiston on fire.
Great. Great.
This is a true and accurate statement. Also, it won't be on fire for long. Good night.